Lisa LaBelle, everyone.
Hello, world. Welcome to the L4 podcast. I'm your host, Lisa LaBelle, the one and only technology comedian. I am so thankful for my audience out there. We're just getting after it. We're all trying to get after it. It's a little rainy today, a little cold, a little chill in the air, a little rainy, a little hard to get that discipline, that motivation on, that thing that gets you up and moving along and a little pep in your step. And I just learned, this is what helped motivate me the other day. I just learned that Beethoven, he wrote the Symphony number 9 or 9th Symphony, I think, Beethoven's 9th Symphony, when he was fully deaf. He composed an entire symphony when he was completely deaf, guys. Come on. If Beethoven can do that, we can get after it today. Yeah. He's at Beethoven's 9th Symphony. Here we go. Ode to Joy. I don't know if YouTube will allow me to play this, but it's the one that goes da 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 da. That's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, he was fully deaf. He was fully deaf when he composed the whole. He knew music so well, it just in his bones. He leaned on the vibrations of the piano and the floorboards to write this symphony that everyone is very familiar with. A long time ago. Back when life was really, really hard. It's not that it's not hard today, but it was really, really hard back then. I don't think they had sewers and, they didn't have refrigerators and just things that make life a lot easier now. So that's pretty incredible. I mean, and you think about it too. There is wildlife out there getting after it too, folks. Come on, we can do it. There's a mudskipping fish out there who is skipping across the land, breathing through its skin. It's skipping up with its tail, and it got to roll around in that mud just so it can breathe. Every skip it skips, it just hopes and prays that there is a puddle or some mud for it to land in, or it's gonna die, because then it can't breathe through its skin if it doesn't keep its skin wet. And it's trying to skip over. It's skipping on over to get to the other side of the river so it can find food. An abundance of, there's a mud skipper in some jungle right now doing this. So we can, let's get after it like the mudskipper fish. That's incredible, so there's another fish that my brother sent me a video of a catfish. A catfish does this very same thing. It hops out of the water in the desert, and it trails, it basically waddles its way through the sand. If you saw this thing, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big catfish waddling. It's using its fins. It's flapping back and forth. It's trying to swim in on the desert. It's like 120 degrees or something it gets out there. That's Fahrenheit. We're doing Fahrenheit because President Carter back in the 70s, he tried to get us to switch over to the metric system, but we just voted him out of office. So I'm using the Fahrenheit. I'm not using the metric systems. It's a Fahrenheit, yeah. So 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the desert, and it's just trying to get over to the other side, to the water that is good, the good water. That's where all the ladies are. That's where all the food is. just they're walking on the beaches, looking at some peaches out there in the desert, man. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's a catfish doing that right now. And what are you doing? What are you doing? What am I doing? Come on. We can do better. We can do better. We can do better. I'm sending some love to you guys and some encouragement that you can do this thing in life. You can do it. Okay, what's going on here? You know what's going on? Taxes, that's what's going on. I was watching my husband and we watched This Old House. Has anyone heard of This Old House? It's an old show. It started actually back in the late 70s, I want to say, in the 20th century, in the late 70s. And we are in the 1995 is the year we are on, and they restore old homes, mostly in the northeast, Maine, or Massachusetts. I think they're really out of it. Anyway, so they restore these old homes. It's really cool. You learn a lot of I have learned so much from Norm Abrams, man. Shout out Norm and Tom Silva brothers. They're amazing. So learned a lot. There's we were watching an episode, and there's this super old house that was built in the 1800s, I think the early 1800s. And this thing was a little beat up. The foundation needed help. You got to just gut that thing and just let them do their work. That's what you got to do. And you got to have a nice chunk of cash in the bank, a lot of cheddar, to do it right. The Silver brothers and Norm, they do it right. Where do you find that today? Yeah, where you find that today? So we were watching This Old House, and they donated the show, I guess. It donated $120,000 worth of material. And that sounds really nice. So the whole renovation back in 1995, I think, was $300,000. So they donated $120,000 of which was counted towards the homeowner's income. So he had to pay massive amounts of tax. That threw him into a whole other tax bracket. He probably, I don't know, but maybe he didn't even make $120,000 a year at his normal job. Just threw him into this tax bracket he didn't even know existed. And didn't even want to know existed, because how is that? You can't even get a gift today without paying taxes on it. The United States, we pay too much taxes, guys. Come on. Middle class, no, it should just be minimum to no taxes. That's how it originally was supposed to be. It was supposed to be just certain people pay taxes and the other people do not pay taxes. That's how I feel. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that's really cool. Gifting $120,000 worth of material. That is so nice. Yeah, well, you better have thousands of dollars to pay in taxes when April 15th rolls around. Speaking of which, tax season is coming up, isn't it? I hope you don't get any gifts, materials to help build your house. $120,000 worth, because you're going to need to cough up that cash. You're going to need to cough up that cash on April 15th for that gift you received. Bananas. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. That's it. That's where we're going to leave that. We're going to leave it like that. Give it on up to the universe. Give it on up to the Lord. What's going on in the technology world right now? Oh, we have Brett Adcock of Figure. he officially announced here, let's see, today on LinkedIn. I saw this. I know I'm on LinkedIn, guys. Not on Facebook, but on LinkedIn and all the other socials. I'm not knocking Meta. I am on Instagram. Find me at Space Warrior X on all of the socials, guys. Okay, so LinkedIn, Brett Adcock. Today, Figure has officially moved into our new headquarters in San Jose, California. Speaking of taxes, Brett about to cough up a lot of taxes having a business out in California. Good luck, Chuck. About to find some shelters or something, a bunch of trust fund. I don't know. That's a high tax bracket out there. That's a lot of taxes out there. Okay, Robot Campus will also support manufacturing, fleet operations, and overall engineering design build out. This is the coolest headquarters I think I've ever seen besides SpaceX. I'd like to visit both of these places. That'd be cool. I'd really like to see a Figure in person. How tall are these things anyway? How tall are these? Got to be taller than me. Everything's taller than me. I can't see over the refrigerator. I mean, everything's taller than me. Did you know that your spine can elongate in space? So I'll go up to space and get a little spine elongation up there. Elongation of the spine. Butch and Sunny, the two astronauts, they are stuck in space right now. So their spines are getting elongated right now. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore have been aboard the International Space Station since June 5th of last year, June 5th of 2024. That's a long time to be in microgravity and radiation. Every time the sun just spews out a coronal mass ejection, the International Space Station gets just slaughtered, just covered in space radiation. The charged particles just throwing up all over it. They're getting lit up. Not a lot of protection up there. That is a worry. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. They might come back with special powers. They might come back with bioluminescent skin. They might come back with really great eyesight, which, that would take some time because the pressure does up in space. There's a lot of pressure on the head. There's no gravity. It's a lot of pressure on the head, which then causes a lot of pressure on the ocular, the eye system. It's going to be wild. I don't think they're going to come back lit up. They might come back lit up. They might be feeling a little high, a little high because they are high up. They're pretty high. They're very high. They're in space. So it's going to be weird. I think Sunny said she doesn't remember how to walk anymore. She's at that point. Yeah, they're definitely anxious to get back on Earth. From what I've seen, the interviews I've seen, they're pretty anxious to get back here. Could you imagine though? It is a shame that they got caught up right in the middle of this political thing with Boeing and SpaceX, and I think that's a shame. And that's what happens. That's what happens. I think that's what you got to be good, and you got to just be prepared. This is what might get caught up in this political thing. Boeing's Starliner, it had issues. It had several helium leaks, thruster problems. It was too risky for their return. I'm not surprised because Boeing has never had a successful manned flight to space. Yeah, so let's send human beings in this the capsule that has never had a successful manned flight to space. Let's send our astronauts back in that thing. Oh, SpaceX has had multiple successful manned missions to space. Let's ignore them and see what happens to these human beings that go in this pod that has never had a successful manned mission. I mean, that would make me a little upset if I were the Butch and Sunny. Just saying. That is gambling. That is a gamble. Yeah. It's a little wild. So the Crew Dragon spacecraft, they'll be going up to get them soon. I think next week. They're supposed to be coming on back down to Earth. Crew Dragon, it lifts off on Falcon 9. So that's what's going on there up there. Sunny and Butch, love and hope to you guys, and they're brave. They are brave souls. It's going to be really interesting to see the effects of microgravity had on them, in the human body. That is very fascinating to me. Extremely fascinating. And good luck, Godspeed to their recovery when they come back to Earth. And Theo Von had mentioned he'd like to interview them. So I hope that happens, because that will be really interesting. What else is going on, guys? I just saw the movie Heat last night. My husband's catching me up on the old movies. Heat. I'm watching movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Raw Deal. Winning upgrades your wardrobe. Heat. That was interesting. Al Pacino talking about the ladies behind her age. That is a hilarious scene right there. Good movie, great script. I mean, who wouldn't? Really cool truck in that movie. That they get in this big old truck and it smashes into the bank truck, and that's a cool scene. That's really neat. But yes, great songs in that movie too. But so a song, you ever hear this song that just like when you hear it, it gets you going? I'm not into rock. The rock music, the decibels are just a little high. My husband, he won't listen to. He wouldn't go to a concert or anything with a decibel over like 120. I think like he likes that rock stuff. I like a lot of different music, but Rob Zombie's not one of them. Okay, it's just a little too much for me. A little too much. A little Korn. I was never into that stuff. Pantera. What? Oh Lord. Lord, my ears. But Rob Zombie, there's a song called Demon Speeding. And I heard my husband playing it in the gym the other day. I'm like, yeah, that's a good song. It's like, I'm demon speeding. It's like, all right, that song gets me going. Hear that song, it's like, yeah, yes. Someone mix that song with Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. We got to hear this. Please. Or the Fifth Symphony. Come on, let's hear Demon Speeding, Rob Zombie, mixed with a little backdrop of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. That would be amazing. Demon Speeding. It sounds just like that. I can't play the song on here or YouTube will kick me out. So I'm trying my best. We got a French robotics company. I'm French. My last name is LaBelle. And this is fun. My dad's parents are both French. They're both French. My grandmother, her parents came to Ellis Island, I think in the 1920s, I want to say, and from France. And then my grandfather's parents, I believe they were French Canadian. And so my grandfather met my grandmother in Philadelphia. Two French people with baguettes. They had little beignets, and they were talking about the Pont Neuf and Ile de la Cité. And I mean, what are the odds of that? What are the odds? Isn't that incredible? So this robotics company stood out to me. The French, they have some great architecture, obviously, and some great engineers. But sometimes you think maybe this robotics company is probably what you would imagine it would be, being French. The robot, it has a rectangular face, and it has two black dots for the eyeball. One is larger than the other. There's a line that connects them in between. I love that. Okay. And they put a white shirt with black stripes on it, so that that kind of looks like it could either be like it just got out of jail, or it looks like, put a baguette under its armpit and, under its arm, and maybe, it's holding some flowers and give it a mustache, and then it's very French. Then it turns very French. So that's, they're working on it. They're working on it. It's coming along. You know what? It looks like they're handing it things, and it's grasping. It's figuring out the whole, how much pressure do you put on an item when you handle it? So a bag of noodles, you're not going to want to grab it too hard because you're going to break all the noodles. And a loaf of bread, you're not going to want to squeeze that thing, so it's just it's learning all of the humanoid things that one does. And right now, though, it sort of looks like an indentured servant, like it's like, okay, I'll be doing this for a few years, and then I'll be able to be my own Frenchman. I'll be able to go out into the rolling hills of France, into the south of France, and live my life as a French robot, a free French robot. That's what it kind of appears like right now. So just check that out. The humanoid is called Reachy 2. I think they call it, or that might be the name of let me see, that might be the name of the company, Reachy 2. But I think that's the name of the humanoid. I'm going to look at this. Yeah. Okay. The startup is called Pollen Robotics, and the humanoid is called Reachy 2. Guys, you got to see this. You got to see this red robot. Oh, and they put antennas on it. So it's got two black dots as the eyeballs, one bigger than the other, which I freaking love. And then these antennas are just like bink. It's getting signals. It's and it's not a black and white t-shirt. It's a black and white tank top. It's very French. They just got to put some armpit hair under there, be like the ladies, the dancing ladies, the cabaret, the little armpit hair under there, and yeah, it's perfect. Gotta check that out. That's amazing. What else is going on? What's going on? Let's see. Oh, I have been following this company for a while. It's 3D printed house. It's a 3D printing housing company called Icon. Icon I learned about Icon through NASA. There was a I guess they call it, it's like open to the public, this contest for a Mars habitat. This is, I think the one that Icon won was in 2018. And then they had another contest in 2019, which AI Space Factory, that's what it's called. AI Space Factory's Marsha was the winner. And they're still around. They're testing Earth habitats like Terra recycled printable homes you can rent on Airbnb. Check those out. Those are really cool, guys. But the really cool thing about Icon is, and this 3D printing for the Mars habitat is, it can help on Earth because you have to make these systems for rough terrain, for rough weather. They have to be prepared for a very harsh life, basically. So Icon teamed up with a charity and built, I think it was in Mexico, I want to say, they built housing for families in need, but it was a kind of a bit of a rough area to get out to, meaning harsh conditions. And they were able to go out there and bring their printer and get houses set up for these people and help out. And it's really amazing. You got to go check it out. But their Icon, I'm such a huge fan of Icon because I've been following their journey since 2018. I mean, they are just exploding in Austin, Texas. Why in Austin, Texas? Why is 3D printed homes very popular in Texas? Because Texas doesn't have all this red tape. Yeah, other states, they can't get permits and things, or because they don't know what to do with this new technology. So they're like, well, we don't know what to do with this new technology. So you can't build it right now. So, okay. How are we ever going to get ahead? How are we ever going to get ahead if that's how our states are acting? Come on. State governors, wake up. Let's go. Get a little oomph. Wake up. Let's go. We got to start moving. Here. China is leaps and bounds ahead of us. And look, this technology would help people. It's less expensive. A 3D printed home is less expensive than a traditionally built home. And they can whip it. You can, and in the near future, you're going to have an app. You can see the floor plans. You can put what you want in it, and you can order it from the app. And then the printer will just start printing it up. Icon is cool. I like what they named. I like what they named their 3D printer. It's a gantry style printer. It's got an arm that comes out, and they named it Vulcan, and that's amazing. So, and then their proprietary material that they use for to make the home, they call it lavacrete. And the machine that mixes it and everything is called magma. Yes. Need to start a company just so I can name things like that. That's amazing. Yeah, so they're out there, they're building homes, or they're printing homes, and they're doing it very quickly in Texas because Texas allows it. We need other states to allow this. This is ridiculous. It makes me think, what other technologies are out there that would help people, because it's a lot cheaper, guys. It's a lot cheaper to buy a 3D printed home. It's more affordable for families. Like, what other technologies are out there that our states aren't allowing because they don't know what to do with it? Like, I just don't know what to do with it. It's from the devil. This new stuff, this is from the devil. We can't let this happen. We got to get the old bureaucracy. Got to get those construction companies, those boards, get those 2x4s up. We got to keep killing trees. That's what we got to do. Yeah, take those trees down. No, stop. Keep the trees, okay? Look, there's drawbacks to everything, but I think not taking trees down, tree farms, come on, stop it. Let's get on with the 3D printed housing communities. Let's go. Okay, let's do it. See what else we got on this. 3D printed homes. They will force construction companies to evolve or partner up. Let's go. But not unless these states are just like sitting there twiddling their thumbs like, I don't know, I don't think so. This new technology is a little scary. We can't let that happen here in our state. Come on. We'll create jobs. Come on. It's poised to revolutionize the construction industry. The impact on traditional construction companies can lead 3D printing in construction could lead to a shift in the industry's landscape. While it may reduce the reliance on traditional construction methods, it doesn't necessarily mean fewer construction companies. Instead, companies may adapt by incorporating 3D printing technologies to enhance efficiencies, reduce waste, and lower labor costs. Let's go. Icon, here we go, has secured billions in funding, including a recent $56 million Series C round, with a total of over $500 million raised and a valuation approaching $2 billion. Yep. Back in 2022, the construction company raised $185 million, extending its $207 million Series B funding round from the previous year, led by Tiger Global. This funding came from existing backers and pushed Icon's total funding to $461 million, and with its valuation reportedly nearing $2 billion. Bill with a B. All right, guys. So I'm gonna answer a question that I got on X. Hey, if any of you have a question for me, Lisa, the technology comedian, and want to hear my unique perspective on the technology, I would love to answer your question, or just about anything. Go ahead and hey, drop a comment and smash that like button. What's up with the smash that like button? Anyway, on YouTube, go ahead and give me a comment on YouTube as a Space Warrior X, what you are watching on if you're watching this, or leave a comment anywhere where you're seeing this. X, I got this comment on X. X is a little tricky because I get a lot of spam on X. And I usually don't click on messages. It's a lot of lady parts, a lot of boobies and butts, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. It hurts my life. It just makes me very uncomfortable. So I don't really check those, but this message stood out to me as a human being, and I looked at it, and indeed, it's a question from my audience. So drop me a question and I will answer it right here on this podcast. So this question is from Albert, Alberd, Albert Vincent. Albert Vincent says, Lisa, love that you mix technology with humor. What's your take on AI generated comedy? Does it have a future, or will humans always be funnier? Well, Albert, as of right now, the large language models that I utilize, which is we got number one, Grok. Grok is my number one. I utilize Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini, and DeepSeek. Grok. So I have not asked them to generate jokes for me because I write my own jokes. From what you guys hear when I do stand-up comedy is just the inside of my brain. You take a journey through I take my brain and I bloop, and the inside of my brain I'm showing you. So, I don't know if they can generate jokes, but I can say Grok is an amazing writing assistant. I will ask Grok to help me with word economy, my sketches and things that I write, my little scripts. And I will, if I'm stuck somewhere, I'll ask Grok. I will tell Grok what my through line I'm trying to get to. What is the focus of this joke? What is the through line I'm trying to get to? What is the purpose of it? And Grok will help me streamline it a bit. And sometimes Grok throws out some pretty funny ideas, but it's along the lines of the joke that I created. So that's how I utilize it. As far as AI generated comedy, does it have a future? I'm sure it does. I'm sure it can generate a comical script at this point. If you feed, the AI, you show it all of Judd Apatow's work. Okay. It's getting so smart that, and the chips are getting faster, the GPUs, the TPUs, everything's getting smarter and faster. And I'm sure it can calculate the comedy from it and create a funny script. I haven't tried that. As far as stand-up comedy, that's a whole nother animal. That stand-up comedy, a good joke comes from an intense visual acuity. And I'm not sure if AI has that yet. Super intelligence, maybe. AGI, I'm not sure. I don't know. In 100 years, are there going to be stand-up comedy clubs that are like humanoids only? Maybe. I don't know. Like, what's their need for humor? Do they get depressed? It's like, are they sad about, do they have baby mama problems? Do they got to go pay their rent? Are they behind on their bills? Like, what are they, indentured servants? It's like things that make them sad. I think comedy really brings human beings together, and we all experience sadness in life in our own different ways. And for me, comedy, and my whole family, I grew up with comedy being the one thing that you can find a lot of joy from. So are humanoids going to be seeking out joy? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. I hope so. I hope, I think we're going to also integrate with technology. I think there's going to be a lot more cyborgs around. I do think that AI generated comedy does have a future, not an immediate future, but for sure it has a future. I could be standing up there with my humanoid, Yul Brenner, and we'll be making jokes together. He'll be my sidekick, my host, my buddy. We'll be laughing at things. So, if it turns into, what was that movie with Will Smith and the robots? People are probably screaming at at the screen right now. I'm so sorry. It's like iRobot. I think it was called iRobot. There was also one with Jude Law called AI. That one's really old. iRobot is old too, but basically in iRobot, there was one robot that was rogue. It was like a misfit, and it had feelings and memories, and so now on-screen comedy, like anything like this, if you're doing a podcast or on screen or a film or sketch or whatever, is completely different than stand-up comedy in front of a live audience. So delivery, here's another point with humanoids. Our humanoid, I'm not sure exactly. I think your question is very general. AI generated comedy doesn't have a future. If a humanoid is going to attempt stand-up comedy, there's a lot of things that make it work. There's a lot of things that make a joke kill, and delivery is a huge part of that. Delivery, just the universe coming together, just all your stars aligning. And what I mean by that is you have to be a finely tuned human being with that audience. Everyone needs to be vibrating at the same, like we're all on the same page. We're all making music together. The rhythm is right. My best jokes are when you have my delivery is on point, meaning my voice intonations are just on point. I nailed it. My body language is matching up with the words that are coming out of my mouth and my intonations, and my eyeballs are looking the right ways. And so body language, delivery, intonation, and tone, all of this goes into the delivery of a joke. And when all of that lines up perfectly, it's a killer. And gosh, that is what a true comedian, that is what you are chasing. That's what I chase. Anyway, I can't speak for anyone else, but I chase that. I chase that perfectly lined up, all the stars aligning joke. And it takes a lot of work, and delivering a joke on stage, like I said, you have to be there. You have to be focused, and there, mind, body, spirit, with your audience. And it is amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. I love people, and being on the camera is completely, it's a completely different kind of humor, different kind of delivery too. So that's my thoughts on your question, Albert. Thank you. Thanks for sending that over to me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate anyone who asked me questions. I love it. All right, folks. I think on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get a little snack. Got to feed the machine. Feed the machine, folks. Get some good nutrients. Go eat some blueberries. I hope you have a really great, beautiful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.